Hi, Alessia.
Hi, Brianna.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
The OG is back. Thank you for joining me on
Thanks for having me.
lovely day.
Mm-hmm.
You're so welcome. We're going to talk about your piece that you choreographed called Ansia,
yes.
which is Italian for
anxiety.
Such a great title. And, you know, we've been talking about this before. The inspiration for the piece changed a little bit over time.
Mm-hmm.
It started as more of a mental health, like an exploration of mental health overall,
Mm-hmm.
and then it shifted. Maybe you could speak to that.
Yeah, so at the beginning, I really wanted to talk about, mental health in general and the different versions of it and the different, ways it can affect somebody. But then over time, I realized that everyone is affected differently, and the way I experience mental health versus someone else is different. So in the short amount of time that we had, I didn't really have enough research to do a big project like that.
Right.
So I'm thinking of maybe doing something like that in the future where I have more time. But it switched to my personal journey with anxiety, and I touched upon a lot of stuff like suffocation. Like that was a big theme for me because personally, like when I experience my anxiety, it's just like it feels a lot like I'm suffocating. And like I explained to my dancers, like it feels like there's like a fire, kind of like in my chest. So I really liked touching upon like the suffocating theme, and that really helped me, generate this process, thinking about my own experience rather than others. So yeah.
Yeah, and the movement that you gave us was very like almost suffocating. Like there was a lot of jolt and pause into the movement that when I was performing it, I felt like I really could like connect to that suffocation feeling.
Yes.
Of like, throat closing, nothing sort of going in and out.
Yeah, like to me, like it feels like you're trying to claw your way out of something. And like for some reason, that puts a lot of tension in my hands. And when I was choreographing, I was feeling that tension in my hands, and then the rigidness of it, and like almost like a stickiness.
Yeah.
That's kind of what generated the choreography. And to be honest, it made me feel really good. I don't know how to explain it,
That's
but
awesome.
like just being in touch with my anxiety and like opening up about it in this way, like it was a bit refreshing in a way, as it was triggering. It was also like, it was kind of like free therapy. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just thought of this now. I remember when we were in rehearsal and you put on Black Eyes from The Stars Born.
Yeah.
And that song is so like rock and roll and has that kind of feeling. And like it helped us sort of connect to that really like rigorous, like you say, like stickiness.
Yes. I don't know why sticky.
I love
sticky
it.
is like a really like strong word for me in this.
Cool.
Like sticky and suffocating is like really what I like to think about when, choreographing something like that.
Awesome. Yes. And yeah, like you were saying, did you find it difficult to connect to such a personal story? Like, is it triggering? Is it healing? Was it a combination of both kind of thing?
Yeah. Most of the time it was very healing for me because it allowed me to keep in touch with who I am, because this is something that's going to be a part of me, and there's not much I can do about it. So it was like a self-reflecting process, which was really nice, although it was hard because I'm my biggest critic. And, talking about this kind of stuff is triggering, but at the same time, like it did help me keep in touch with who I am and what I'm going through, and it did really help me a lot, to be honest.
That's good. Like it like you say, it's a therapy. And, we all go through difficult moments in our lives where anxiety, depression, or whatever it is to you is going to take over your creative juices, right? And like if you can channel creativity into that, I think it helps in a more healthy way.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not, like going to drugs or
exactly,
going down a really dark path.
Yeah.
It really helps. Great. And like when we use an inspiration like mental health to create art, especially this like in our society right now. I think it's important to have open discussion.
Yeah.
And to make sure that like the stories are being heard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you could talk about what it means to you to have something like anxiety in your life, and when you see art being put out, like does it help? Does it, you know?
As cheesy as this sounds, like I feel like it kind of reminds people that they're not alone. You know, I feel like people hear that all the time and they're like, great, but how does that help me?
Right.
But in a way, I feel like it kind of does, you know, knowing that you're not the only one going through something like this. And I feel like showing that could help people, you know, like I think it does. Like it helped me, and I hope it helped my friends in the process too, you know, like I don't know. I definitely think that sharing it is helpful because it's like reminding someone that like this is gonna sound horrible, but it's not all about you. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You have people in this world that are going through the same thing or something worse. Let's do it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because if you are alone and you feel alone, you can a little bit like, and I've definitely been through this, you're a bit selfish.
Yeah.
You're a bit more like all about yourself.
Exactly.
Because that's all you know. And so using each other and the support of each other to create art like this. And
exactly.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, like I'm the type of person that like I need to talk about things in order to feel better. Not everybody is the exact same. But for people like me, like I guess this is something that can help them. Because I feel like getting it off my chest and like ranting about it is something that I need, even though it may be harder for other people. They don't want to hear me, you know, go on. But I feel like watching maybe something about mental health gives somebody the opportunity to discuss it afterwards. Like, oh, like, did you see that piece about this? How did you feel? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, oh, like, I feel that way too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like more open to discussion.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, you're saying something so personal and so unique to you. Yeah. You can't really, you know, expect everyone to interpret it the same way, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone experiences it differently, you know.
And it was a big group of people, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How many were we? 18?
18.
And so, you know, like, each and every single one of those people in the dance, including me and including yourself, we all are connecting to it differently. I mean, for my little, you know, small solo part, for that, like, it really felt like I could finally, you know, be on stage alone and say exactly what I want to say.
Yeah.
But then when I was with the group, I almost felt like a lot more energy of we're all trying to do this together and present it together. So, you know, different qualities of performance, definitely. Cool. Would you want to remount this piece, like do it somewhere different, on a different platform, or is it like, I'm going to leave it in Choreographic Works, that's what it is?
I said this to, I don't want to call them my dancers because I think that's so dumb, but I'm going to call them my friends.
You are choreographers.
Because we are friends, but at the same time, like, I don't own them. They're not my dancers. You know, like, I'm going to say, sorry, my friends, you know,
for sure.
I said to them, I was like, this is the most confident I've felt in something that I've created. I don't know about ever, like, it feels like ever to me, but maybe just in a long time.
That's lovely.
So I really want to keep it the way it is. And I do want to show it, you know, in a different platform. Like, I'd love to do something like that. I just need to do some more research. But I would maybe add, like, a preface or something, because I like the way it ends. Because to me, it kind of ends, like, not like a cliffhanger, but, like, anxiety doesn't really have an end.
Oh,
and I feel like,
for sure,
as long as I'm living, this is going to keep happening. And I don't want to get treated for it. I know that sounds dumb, but, like, I feel like, again, it's a part of me, and I don't want to act differently because I want to be myself, you know? So I feel like I would definitely maybe add some more to the beginning, just because we had a time limit, right? So, yeah, I definitely want to keep things the way they are, maybe, like, tweak a few things, but I really liked the way it turned out. Like, everyone did such an amazing job, and everybody was so, like, patient with me, and I know that I can get really insecure when I'm choreographing.
You're absolutely great.
And honestly, like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy with it.
That's such a nice feeling to like
Mhm.
sit back and be like, I did that, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, actually going back to the ending, like having these hands in the face and it's like a twitchy motion, and then
Mhm.
Margot is just having this inner dialogue going on in her brain. For me, that pose at the end, like, really does, like you say, it doesn't really finish it.
No.
But it keeps it going.
Yeah.
Like, you can almost, like, watch it, or I didn't get to see it, but I'm hoping that the audience watches it and thinks, like, oh, like, it's still always in motion.
Yeah.
Like, having the hands, like, going all the time, like, not just, like, 1, 2, and then stop.
Mhm.
I think it almost kept it going, and the blackout was so slow, which was nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, how did you think about that as an ending? Like, did you really just not want to have a pose and just see where it goes? I don't know.
Yeah, like I
it
said,
didn't really. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
It like didn't at first. It wasn't really working. I think, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know.
I liked how it ended just because, again, like I said before, like it doesn't finish. Like it like this thing is always happening, and like sometimes it creeps out of nowhere, but it's there, and it doesn't really just finish. And I used like the hands like that because I felt like it was like chaos happening, and I want to say like that picture is kind of like subconscious. It's like there's chaos going on in your mind, but all these things and emotions are happening at the same time. And that's, I guess, what triggers my anxiety is when I overthink things. So I feel like that picture is like maybe the process happening when I'm overthinking or when I'm feeling at my worst, It's like there's chaos around me and I don't know how to handle it. Something like that. And then all these emotions come over me, and sometimes I can't control my emotions, but everything around me remains constant. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm the only one in the room, even though there's like hundreds of people doing 100 things. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what happened there. It's almost like I saw something different every time. It's like I saw a different movie every time I was watching the same movie. I don't know how to explain that properly, but...
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's because, again, like it was about something personal for me, so it was like watching like a different scenario happen in the way that I would interpret it.
Right.
So I didn't really see steps, and I didn't really see pictures. I saw a situation and how my brain handled it. That's how I looked at it. And that's why, for me, it looked almost different every time. I don't know.
I'm so, like, happily surprised, because I think that's, I never really thought about it that way. Like a movie. Yeah. Cool. Let's switch gears. What are you up to this summer?
Well, I'm actually going to Greece for a month with the school.
So good.
I'm so excited because you went. I've heard great things. I'm super excited about that.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. I'm working my ass off because I got to pay for this damn school.
Are you doing any intensives besides that?
I'm still on the fence.
Yeah.
Just because, right now money is really important because, students and Doug Ford and... Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. But it's hard. I have a lot of debt and I need to pay that back. So right now, like Greece seems like the only thing that I'm doing, but I do want to look into some other things. I don't know.
It'll be great to like go out of the country and like see internationally what's out there in theater and dance. So I'm like thrilled for you. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.